Hello, and welcome to today's trending contract, Kill Order 2-2-880-3766-41, set in Whittleton Creek and supplied to us today by Chris715. So with no briefing, we'll move straight on to our targets, and today we have 5 of them along with a free map. And for today's challenge, we'll be starting at the default location, and we'll be bringing with us a lockpick, a remote micro taser and a silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we need to make our way to Helen West's house, and in there we can make our way into the basement and retrieve a couple of items we require. So we're just going to head straight down the street here, and as we pass the muffin van we can then hop over the fence and down through into the basement. We're going to lockpick our way inside, and in here we will encounter firstly our first target, and more importantly at the moment, the vial of lethal poison and a vial of emetic poison. We're then going to make our way up the basement stairs and unlock the door, and we just want to trigger a conversation between Mrs. West and one of her serving staff, which we have just done. Now that should bring Mrs. West down into the basement a little quicker. So while we're waiting for our guest of honor, we are going to overflow the sink here and drop our taser into the puddle, and then we're going to hide ourselves behind what looks like a mortuary gurney. Eventually Miss West will make her way down the stairs, and when she does we can trigger the taser and give her a shockingly bad day. So with Miss West taken care of, or Mrs. West, I'm not sure which, we're going to head back out of the basement area, and we're going to make our way now to the Hanson's property, which is the last house on the left. So straight out of the garden onto the road and all the way down to the Hanson's property, which is the house with the boat outside. And when we get there we can lockpick our way into the house or the garage, and through the garage and the basement and into Janus's house. So we're just going to lockpick the garage door, make our way into the back of the room, lockpick our way down into the basement. There are a lot of locked doors in this house. Wonder what these people are trying to hide. And then through into the small library room, which is also locked, but as an avid reader I can quite understand protecting your books. So we're just going to open the secret passage to Janus's house, put on the mansion guard's outfit, or the Janus bodyguard outfit should I say, make our way through the rest of the tunnel. We're going to make our way into Janus's basement, and in here we have one patrolling guard. He is an enforcer, and we are going to take him out. It's not strictly necessary, but I like doing it. And while we're down here we can also deal with the surveillance system, which will come in handy when we deal with Mr. Cassidy. So we're just going to deposit our new friend here into the closet provided, and then we will take out the surveillance system. It's probably quicker to do it by hand, but I like to shoot them. So from here we're going to make our way up into the main house, and if Janus is not around, which it appears, no, he's upstairs, we can then make our way up the stairs. There is an enforcer here to avoid, But if he is on the right, we will go to the left. If he is on the left, we will go to the right. Now, because he was on the right and we went to the left, we do have much quicker access to Janus's bedroom. We're going to add our lethal poison to Janus's oxygen mask and then deposit ourselves in the nearby closet. And when Janus goes through his entire routine and returns, he will sit down to take some oxygen, something I'm going to be in need of rather soon, and he will demise himself. At that point, we will exit from the closet and deal with Gunther, his personal bodyguard.
I remember the first pack I had.
So Janus is sitting down and taking a nice deep breath of the poison and finding it very much not to his liking. I think he prefers his poison to be in the form of cigarettes. So with him down, all we have to do now is exit the closet, pull out our silenced pistol, deal with Gunther with a single bullet. Now Gunther is not an accident elimination, so we are going to hide his body in the closet provided there are two to choose from. We're then going to wait for the patrolling enforcer on the landing to move away from the stairs, which is where he is currently positioned, and then when he does, we can exit the building and make our way over to Nolan Cassidy's house. So he should be moving any second now. I'm sure that rug is very secure, sir, you do not need to guard it. So as he moves away, we can then make our way straight down the stairs. We've dealt with the cameras, so we can go straight out the front door with impunity. We're going to make our way all the way around the map and over to Nolan Cassidy's house. And over here, we're going to utilize the exterminator and the fumigation machine. Now, this is a relatively slow method, but it is an effective one. So once we get to Nolan Cassidy's house, we are going to make our way behind the exterminator's van. The exterminator is currently relaxing, leaning on the bonnet, but in a few moments he will return to the rear of the van here to make a phone call, of which we are going to rudely interrupt him. We're going to render him unconscious. We're going to drag him into the bushes we were waiting in and then take his outfit. The outfit isn't strictly necessary, but it does come in handy. So we're also going to pick up Nolan Cassidy's door keys and let ourselves into the garden. We can then add our emetic poison to the fumigation machine, and all we have to do now really is wait for our guest of honor, Mr. Cassidy. He is currently out in the street somewhere. There he is. He is about to engage in a fairly lengthy conversation. But when he comes into the house, and I don't mean the garage, we need him deep into the kitchen, along with his bodyguard, we can then trigger the fumigation machine, and that will render everyone in the house sick. We're also going to take care of the patrolling guard in the garage. I've actually opted to do that first, just in case. We can then take his outfit as well. We'll leave his gun where it is. We're going to trigger the gas if we haven't already, or turn the gas off if we have. Now everybody in the building will now get sick. Nolan Cassidy should make his way to the downstairs bathroom, and everybody else will find suitable places to purge themselves. I'm just going to give everybody a nice, decent chance to get well away from the house, because once we deal with Nolan Cassidy, this bathroom will become available according to the AI, and someone will return here. Now, unfortunately, our final target, the hammer, has made his way outside to purge himself. In my practice runs, he used the upstairs bathroom, and all we had to do was run upstairs and deal with him accordingly. So my initial plan here was to wait for his return, and then realized very quickly that was a bad idea, and we're going to try and deal with him over at the creek. Now unfortunately, as we get close, we do trigger a conversation between the gardener and the bodyguard by the lawnmower, and that conversation will take longer than it takes for the hammer to finish being sick. So we're going to try plan A once again, and we're going to make our way back into the house. Now unfortunately, the hammer has kind of broken. He is now stuck where he is at the creek's edge, and he is not moving. And the worst part of it is that when we go and approach him again, he will restart his routine, and he is an enforcer, so we do have to be careful. So at this point I decide, right, he's not moving, I'm gonna go and get him, and just as we get close to him, he will then get on with his routine. Nothing to see here, mate, go back about your business. There we go. So we have a good opportunity now to deal with the hammer, and as we get close, he suddenly decides to go back to his usual routine and start working again. So we are now on to plan C, and luckily enough everybody else has gone back to their usual routines, which means that when the hammer makes it into the garden, we can pounce on him here, and it saves having to avoid people in the house. So we're going to give him a very quick neck massage, a rather violent one for messing us about so much, before heading out of the rear of the property and to the waiting bridge exit. So there we go, one more trending contract taken care of, obstacles were endured and overcome, and we have confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan. We've had no objectives to worry about, and we get a silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.